Okay, hello. Thanks for joining us. My name is Christy McGackran. I'm the program manager for the Professional Addiction Studies at McMaster Continuing Education. I'm here today with Sandra DeVoe, the program associate. So I see that we have a number of people who've logged in, so let's get started. So to start us off, if you don't mind taking a moment to tell us a little bit about yourself in the chat, let us know where you're joining us from, what is your background. We have two features there. There's a chat, there's also a Q&A, so we're going to use the chat for this one. So we have Brampton, Toronto. Where else is everyone coming from? Toronto again. Oh, lots of Toronto today. Brampton, interesting. Collingwood, welcome. Okay, so we're an Ontario group today. We typically have representation from across Canada, so that's interesting. All right. It's great to have you. Welcome. So the agenda for today's program is as follows. I'll introduce you to McMaster Continuing Education. I'll provide an overview of the Professional Addiction Studies program. We'll talk briefly about the program's intended audience, as well as some of the features and benefits of taking the program. We'll also touch on the online structure, our instructors, and the course schedule. We'll review the admission requirements, and we'll also build in time for questions and answers before the session ends. If you have any questions during the presentation that come up, if you're able to find the Q&A feature on Zoom, we'd like to use that for the questions. Some we may answer during the presentation, others we'll leave to the end so that we can do them as a group. And finally, please be advised this webinar is being recorded and it may be used in promotional information and materials. McMaster University is located in Hamilton, and we're proud to be ranked within the top 100 universities in the world. Our current student enrollment is about 37,000 students per year. McMaster Continuing Education is a long-standing department at the university. Currently, we offer a range of academic certificates and diplomas in business, marketing, communication, health and social services, technology, and data. Our academic programs are taught at an undergraduate level, and they're all approved through the same process as the university degrees. And we're pleased to welcome over 5,000 students a year through continuing education. All of the programs through MCE are part-time study. This means you can set your own schedule and take as many or as few courses as you wish in a term. The benefit of part-time studies is that you can complete an academic program while you continue to work and meet your personal and professional needs. The program is fully online. Online learning allows you to study from anywhere and do the course activities on your time. You do not need to log in on a specific day for the weekly content. It's asynchronous. And although we highly encourage you to attend the live Zoom sessions that are scheduled in certain weeks, they are not mandatory and will be recorded for those who are unable to attend. You can choose from either a certificate or a diploma. These programs are academic credit. You'll learn from professionals in the field and collaborate with learners from across Canada with a variety of backgrounds. Applications are open all year round, and we have 3 intakes per academic year, so you can start your program in the fall, winter, or spring. And if you're interested, the program is approved by the Canadian Addiction Counselors Certification Federation for specific designations, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So the courses do not have any firm prerequisites, but we do recommend that you start with Introduction to Addiction whenever possible. Following that, we recommend completing 4 to 5 of the core courses before moving on to the electives. The field experience course does have a few prerequisites, and Sandra's going to talk about that in a moment. So completion of any 5 courses is required for the certificate, and completion of all 8 core courses in any 2 electives will earn the diploma. I'm going to hand it over to Sandra, the program associate for the addiction program, to explain the field experience course.
Thanks, Christy. So the field experience, as Christy said, is not a required course, but students without prior employment in addiction work may wish to consider doing the field experience to gain hands-on exposure. It's an opportunity to observe and practice a wide range of skills that were introduced through the academic courses. The course requires a total of 325 hours of supervised practical experience, which is to be completed over a 6-month period. Students are responsible for securing their own placement in consultation with the program, myself, Christy, and a practical coordinator. Some potential sites might include things like addiction treatment centers, withdrawal centers, counseling agencies, community programs, among others. This is not a pass-fail course, it is an academic course, so you will complete several graded assignments during the placement, as well as have a mid and final evaluation done by your on-site supervisor. Although it is recommended that students wait until the end of the program to complete their field experience, so you can leverage the knowledge that you've gained throughout your courses, there is a minimum prerequisite requirement of having taken Introduction to Addiction, Pharmacology, Counseling Skills for Addiction Professionals, and Assessment and Treatment Planning before you can be approved to register for the field experience course. Okay. Um, right. So as Christy mentioned, we are our programs are accredited for through the CACCF. The certificate is eligible, meets the educational requirements of the Canadian Certified Addictions Counselor, CCAC designation. Um, as and the diploma is recognized for the educational requirements for the ICADC, the Internationally Certified Alcohol and Drug Counselor. As well as there's an associate membership, the AAC, for those that are students and seeking accreditation. So you can gain that along the way. It's not a requirement as of yet, at least not in Ontario, but it is a nice complement to your portfolio, and some employers may in fact be looking for that.
Great, thank you, Sandra. So who are our students? Well, our students come from a variety of backgrounds and they enter the program for many reasons. Some are looking to enter the field for the first time. Some combine it with their current education to gain a specialization, and this is particularly common with psychology, sociology, health studies, social services. Others are already in their chosen profession, but they see the benefit of enhancing their current skill set to better understand or help their clients. And others are looking for a career change, and they're using the education as a pathway or professional development. The program's been designed to meet the learning needs required to work in the field of addictions. And although many of our students do intend to work in the addiction field directly, the knowledge and skill set of understanding how to work with addictions extends into a variety of professions. And so the program can also serve as professional development or a specialization for those who are trained in related fields such as mental health, counseling, law enforcement, crisis response, nursing, social work, or child and family services. Well, now that you know about us, we'd love to learn more about you. So we're going to do a quick poll, and if you don't mind sharing what background you're coming from. There we go. Okay, hopefully the results will come up in a second. Okay, so the majority are looking to change careers. That's interesting. And the other, I guess, the just distribution is looking to enter directly or looking for a new role. Okay, that's a higher percentage in looking to change careers than what I would normally see. So that's a good shift. And this program definitely is can be used to either add on to a career that you have that you think is a complement to, or enter direct as well. And we're going to talk about the eligibility requirements for the application shortly. And you'll see that this program will build on a related previous education as an add-on diploma. Excellent. Okay. Let's talk about the learning format. So this program is fully online. Each course is taught over a period of 10 weeks. The class moves through the content as a group, and you're connected with your fellow classmates through the learning management system. It is a national program, and it allows for some great networking opportunities. You'll also engage with your classmates in discussion forums. The discussions are asynchronous, so there's no specific day or time that you need to be online. Just be sure to complete your weekly activities by their assigned due dates. The instructor will also host a few live sessions on Zoom to connect with the content further. These sessions are recorded if you're unable to attend. The course content includes recorded podcasts, readings, resources, activities, and graded assessments. You can expect to put aside about 8 hours per week, but this is an average. Some weeks may be less and others may be more. We have a great team of instructors. They're all professionals in the field of addictions and mental health, which allows them to bring real-time experiences and case scenarios into the classroom. They also bring adult education experience with them to enhance your learning. So our schedule is posted for all 3 terms, although I do not believe the website is currently showing spring 2027, but you can see it on the screen here. Each core course runs once a year, and some of them will be running twice to give options for scheduling purposes. One elective course is scheduled in each term, but they do not all run in the same academic year. The field experience course is available each term, but it's not open for self-enrollment online because pre-approval is required. In the fall and the winter terms, you'll see that 2 to 3 courses will begin together at the start of the term, and then the other 2 to 3 will start in the following month to stagger the offerings. And in the spring term, all courses start and end over the same dates. I'm going to hand it back over to Sandra to walk us through the application and eligibility.
Thanks, Christy. As Christy mentioned, this program does have a formal admission process, so there are certain prerequisites for admission eligibility. Sorry. You must have an undergraduate degree in a related field or a 3-year college diploma in a related field. Relevant fields of study include things like psychology, social work, health, social sciences, public health, community and social services, and child and youth studies. Or, if you do not have the formal education, a minimum of 2 years full-time, which is 4,000 hours roughly, of supervised professional experience in a relevant field, such as addictions, mental health, social and community services, nursing, law enforcement, criminal justice, or first responders. Proof of eligibility is required as part of the online application package. So you'll either have to submit official transcripts from a recognized post-secondary education or a letter of employment confirming your hours of supervised experience. If you have a relevant field of study that is not directly addictions related, it is helpful to include what your duties are in that letter from your supervisor as well. Applications also require a 1 to 2 page letter of intent. And in that letter, we ask you to kind of outline any previous experience in the helping field, your goals with our program, and how you feel our program is going to help you meet those goals, as well as a current resume. All of the information regarding applications and enrollment is posted on our website. And the first step is to review the application process, ensure you have the required documentation ready for submission before beginning your online application. Remembering you need your transcript and or letter of employment, a letter of intent, and a recent resume. As Christy mentioned, you can apply throughout the year. We typically have a close date and an open date the next day for the following term. The deadline for the fall 2026 intake is September 4th. Applications cannot be assessed until all the required documentation is provided. So it is important that you have everything ready to go and in by September 4th. Okay. Yeah.
Great,
Questions?
thank you. Yeah, we have like to leave a lot of time after for questions. We may not be able to answer very specific questions if you wanted to, if you were going to bring up your background and wanted to talk about eligibility. We can't address that in this forum, but you are welcome to email us after, and we can certainly engage with you in that. So if you want to use the Q&A feature, Then we can go through them. And Ezra has a great question, Sandra, for you for the CACCF requirements and whether or not the certificate would meet the requirements.
Yeah, the certificate does meet the requirements of the CCAC, so the Canadian Addictions, sorry, Canadian, oh my goodness, CCAC. It's the Canadian equivalent. I'm sorry, I am just blanked out. Um, the internationally certified alcohol and drug counselor, that does require the diploma to meet the educational requirements, but the certificate does meet the requirements for the Canadian certification. Yes. And is the field experience one of the courses needed for that requirement? No, though there may be additional requirements regarding supervised hours. So the field experience does count towards the requirement of supervised hours as outlined by the CACCF, but you are not required to take that through us, if that makes sense. It can be a combination of other experience. So while those hours do count, it's not a requirement.
Sandra, do you mind if I just add something to that?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So what Sandra was mentioning, so the CACCF is the Canadian Addiction Counselor Certification Federation. So they're the professional association. They love acronyms. So it gets a little confusing. So there are two main certifications that students will pursue. And they're essentially the same. It's just that one is internationally recognized and one is Canadian recognized. So that's what Sandra was mentioning. So the ICADC is the International Certified Alcohol and Drug Counselor Certification. And the Canadian version is the CCAC, the Canadian Certified Alcohol Counselor, Addictions Counselor. Yes, thank you. We don't tend to use the full the full words, as you can see. We tend to use the acronyms. Now, um, my understanding is that the certificate does not meet the requirements for either of those in itself. So the courses do is what Sandra was mentioning. So I just wanted to clarify. The courses can be used towards certification individually if you were to take the certificate. But if you wanted to take an educational program that will immediately meet the 270 hours of education that the CACCF requires, you would want to go with a diploma. If you have other education that the CACCF would recognize, which you would have to clear with them, like we can't comment on that, then maybe the certificate is enough for you. You may just have some gaps, maybe you need a pharmacology course, or you need a certain number of hours in assessment. And then you could piece together through the certificate. You'd have to do that on your own with guidance from the CCCF, though. And then the field experience course is not required, as Sandra said, not required if you wanted to become certified, but you may find it handy because when you look at the requirements with the CACCF, they do require a certain number of supervised hours. So you can use the field placement in our program to meet those if you do it from the outset. So you'd want to talk with us first before doing your placement so that you can have some of the forms signed off by the CACCF to meet that. So that's a possibility, but you do not need to take the field experience either to graduate with a certificate or diploma with us, or if you are hoping to use the program for the CACCF. It's not a requirement. Ezra, again, what fields are counted in social sciences? Okay, I'm gonna pass that to Sandra because Sandra actually
Yeah.
manages the applications.
So we're looking for um, community and social sciences. Just looking at your question, saying that you previously worked in disability and autism support in public schools and neighborhood houses. Yes, potentially. Um, it's difficult to say because the applications, I do weigh the applications on the totality of the package. So it's not just, you know, check this box all the time. Sometimes there is a gray area if I can establish equivalencies. So I don't have a set list of programs per se that are automatic. Well, some are, some fall into that gray area. But certainly, just based on briefly reading what you've put there, I would encourage yes, it's worthwhile to apply. Like I said, the application package will be weighed in its totality based on your resume and seeing what kind of work you've done, your education. And, um, to some degree, the letter of intent too. That just generally helps us gain a better understanding of what our students are hoping to gain from our program. But yeah, I do weigh the application package in its totality. So all social sciences are up for consideration. We'll put it like that.
It's a good social sciences is a very common match. That's a lot
Yeah.
of our students come from that background. Can you take the certificate first and then do the rest of the courses to get the diploma? A great question. It's one that we always like to discuss. Yes, is the answer. It is possible. The program is not designed to have you complete the certificate, graduate from it, earn it, and then come back and earn the diploma. You can technically do it, but it's not encouraged because you're using the same bundle of courses towards the diploma. But if that's really what you want to do, yes, but you would have to then reapply back into the diploma program. So what most people do though is they may start out in the certificate and vice versa. You can start off out in the diploma, you can apply for the diploma, and then if you've completed 5 courses and you think, okay, I'm done, I think I'd like to just graduate the certificate. That's no problem. You just let us know, and we can switch you back over to the other program. So you can do it either way, but ideally, if you do the certificate, you would request to move into the diploma prior to being awarded the certificate. So it's not really meant to earn both.
Yeah. And just to add to that, Christy, if I may, there
Mhm.
is no real benefit to having both the certificate and the diploma, unless some people who are pursuing the diploma opt to graduate with their certificate because they have a job opportunity pending. So they want that credential to be able to display to their employer. Um, if you do elect to graduate with their certificate and then come back to the diploma, that is a separate application. Again, because they are two separate streams of study, right? They're two separate credentials. So you would have to do the online application again. You don't have to include all the formal documentation, just a letter of intent that's saying, just graduated with the certificate, wanting to continue and pursue the diploma. We don't need all of the documentation again, but it is a separate application, so that sometimes sways students' decision making, unless there is something like a job offer pending receipt of a credential. So there's not, as I said, a great benefit to having both pieces of paper in that regard.
Thank you. I can answer the question, does this program with field work hours bridge or meet the requirements to the pathway for the Ontario College of Social Workers and Social Service Workers? The answer is not directly no. So the College of Ontario Social Workers and Social Service Workers has specific requirements as to what you need in order to be eligible to apply. And this program is simply not long enough. They're usually looking at a 3 to 4 year program, a 3 year college diploma or a 4 year degree. So we do have students, however, who have taken our program and then they're using it and combining it with other education that they have to apply to the Ontario College of Social Service Workers. We can't comment on whether or not they would accept it because it really depends what else you're bringing with it. That's up to the Ontario College of Social Workers, but we do provide information for students like transcripts and outlines when they have taken our program and then are now applying. So it's possible, but it's not a direct path. I can also answer the next question because it deals with my own McMaster, which
Mhm.
I also have in my portfolio. So without prior work experience or a degree or diploma, and you're looking to major in psychology or sociology, would you have to complete that schooling first in order to be eligible for this program? The answer for that is yes, because you need to have the previous education in order to take this program for 2 reasons. One is that it builds on some basic education that you may have already covered in related programs. It is technically a program that's taken post another. It's a requirement on the eligibility as it has been approved by the university as such as well. Um, my own McMaster is a degree pathway that we offer through continuing education in partnership with the Faculty of Social Sciences for sociology, if you're looking for a 3 year sociology degree, or through humanities for a 3 year history degree. Now, in that pathway, you do take one diploma with McMaster Continuing Education, and then you continue to take continuing education courses to reach 60 units, and then you take 30 units with your chosen faculty. But you cannot do the addiction diploma as your diploma choice unless you have the previous education first. So you would choose a different diploma through McMaster Continuing Education. For example, the Health and Wellness Coaching Program is an open program, or you may be interested in, say, human resources or one of the others that we offer. You could then take this program after you complete the 3-year requirements for the sociology degree. Hope that helps. So we have no more official questions there. I don't know if any came in the chat. We will say that Sandra mentioned that applications for the fall are open until September 4th. That is cutting it very close, September 4th.
Mhm.
So we highly encourage you to apply as soon as possible if you are interested for fall and if you do have your documentation all lined up. So as Sandra mentioned, a transcript or a letter from an employer, and the information is on the website as to what that letter should include. She talked about the number of hours that you've had that supervised work experience, one or the other, as well as current resume and a 1 to 2 page letter of intent. So gather that all up first before you go into the application portal and apply as soon as you can so that we have enough time to review. And if you are missing any documentation, it also gives us time to reach out to you to request that. Um, if you miss the September 4th deadline, on September 8th, the winter applications will open, but we also have October courses that start. So if you were to apply early in the winter application period, we would be able to make it so that you could take an October course if you have your information in time. So there are 2 course start dates in the fall, but it's pretty tight. So best is to get it in as soon as you can so that we have enough time to review. Registration is also opening. It's already open, sorry. So people are currently registering in the courses. So you don't want to wait too long if there's a particular course that you're hoping to take in the fall in case it would run out of space. And again, if that should that happen, you will be able to be admitted to the fall, and then you could start in the winter if the course that you wanted wasn't available. But that shouldn't. It's not usually a problem that it would fill to capacity, but enrollment has been quite strong for this fall term. So I wouldn't want you to wait too long.
Okay, and we do have a couple other questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
So, Ezra, what length of resume we looking for? Resume versus full CV? Whichever you have handy, as long as it's current. Um, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a full CV. It can be just a standard resume. And is OSAP covered for this program? Unfortunately, no. Um, we are a cost recovery unit of the university, and all of our programs are considered part-time, and therefore not our students are not eligible for for OSAP. I'm just gonna pop onto our website. There are some potential funding options for funding assistance that you can look into for our students. I'm just gonna pop the link to that. They're on our website, but I'll pop that into the chat so that people can access that if they want to explore the funding resources. There you are. So that links to the possible funding sources for our students.
Okay. Well, if you have any other questions, type them in now, or on our next screen, you'll see our contact information on how you can reach us. Next slide, please. There you go. You can email us, or on our website, there is a contact us form, and then our information specialist team will reach out to you. And depending on certain times of the week, there are live chat features as well. So lots of ways to reach us. We'll be happy to talk to you about your specific backgrounds or questions that come up that you want to discuss. Um, We can put together a study plan with you, whatever it is that you might need prior to making any decisions. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you taking the time to join us to learn about the Professional Addiction Studies program and Master Continuing Education. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for attending. We look forward to hearing from you.